I wasn't always this sex god you see before you, the apex of raw sexual energy. In fact, I actually came into this world a virgin. I was born with virginity. My father, he wasn't a virgin, and yet, embarrassingly, I was. And it stayed that way for 19 years, until in the spring break of my 19th year in this plane of existence, it all changed when my wiener nation landed on the shores of a vagina nation. Consensually, of course. It was an invite for the wiener nation to make landfall. At 2013 years after the death of Christ, I had finally lost my virginity. Like a crab shedding its shell, I molted. But what did I do up until that point? Well, I've already shared with you a little bit of my freshman year of college where I pretended to be a mysterious anime character, but this arc doesn't stop there. I used to think it was cool and unique to be a virgin in college, so I used to wear it like a fucking Boy Scouts badge of honor. You know, I would talk about my virginity to any female that made the mistake of listening. It was one of the first things I'd do. I'd basically fucking shake a hand and say, I'm a virgin. You're shaking a virgin's hand, which is probably the grossest hand you could ever shake. Because you know that shit is crusty. If these hands could talk, well, if this hand could talk, the stories it would tell you. So, but anyway, I thought because everyone else wasn't a virgin in college, at least none of my friends were, I was one of the well, I was the last one to lose their virginity in my group of friends, I thought it'd make me stand out. I thought it'd be like, wow, that guy's a virgin? Holy shit. I didn't even know this existed in this college anymore. Damn, that's exotic, I gotta get in there. It wasn't the case, in fact, it was just super creepy. But I wouldn't listen to my friends. One of my friends sat me down as like a fucking intervention. He was like, Charlie, look, you gotta stop telling people you're a virgin. It's weird and it's not gonna work. But I didn't believe him. I thought he was working with like the Illuminati trying to restrict my power. But today I look back on that and I see he was a fucking saint. He knew what I didn't. How creepy that was. I was like a fucking vegan. I wouldn't shut the fuck up about being a virgin. Like in parties and shit, if I'd been drinking, you know the virginity talk was coming. I was like a parent giving the birds and the bees talk to their children. And God help the poor women that talked to me when I was drunk and talking about virginity, because sometimes I'd talk about it in different accents. Sometimes I'd be an Irish virgin, other times a Russian virgin. I thought it would be something different and cool. And I acted like I was proud of it. You know, I've held on to my virginity this long. Fuck yeah, baby, this one's for Jesus Christ up there. But I wasn't proud of it, and I knew Jesus wasn't proud of my virginity either, nor my attempt to spit the game at the parties by talking about virginity. That was never gonna work. But it didn't stop me. You see, this all took place around the time that I got my main lead acting role in the Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1. I've already shared that story with you. So when I used to meet these women at parties and shit, I would have this 1-2 combo. Hey, I'm in the Hunger Games, and I'm a virgin. That's a fucking irresistible man right there. That right there is a recipe for an Adonis. And let me tell you what, that didn't help very much. But I used to have the Mockingjay trailer on my phone, and I'd show the trailer if they were unfamiliar and just pretend that I was in it, and I wouldn't go back to show them. I'd just be like, oh, there I am. Oh, I was quick, you missed it. I must have tried this combination move 100 times. Like a Japanese bladesmith, I'd keep folding it over, smashing it down, making it sharper, better, refining it, until finally it worked one time. I met a girl at a party, we talked, we made out, exchanged numbers, and we're going to get together for a date. Date comes around and you can already guess the conversational topics. Hey, what's your major? Where are you from? Are you a virgin? No? Why not? I am. Bang. Game over. There's no coming back from that kind of shit. I don't know why the fuck I just felt this compulsive desire to constantly talk about it. It's really not like it was a crowning achievement, and not even to me. I constantly wanted to lose my virginity, and yet I'd constantly hype it up like it was the best part of me. It's just wild shit, and you know, it taught me a hard lesson. That's pretty much when I learned the most important lesson. Stop bragging about virginity. This desire to be unique between being an anime character in college, the fucking mysterious anime character, to being a virgin fucking evangelist constantly preaching the good word of virginity. This desire to be unique really fucked me and hindered me very much in my early formative college years. Also, during this time I had a friend that was a female. I very much liked her. We were friends for like a year. The feelings weren't mutual. I was very into her. She had none of those same feelings for me, but it didn't stop me from telling her that I was saving my virginity for her. How noble. They say chivalry's dead, but yeah, I used to tell her that my virginity is going to be hers for the taking. That had to be the last fucking thing on her Christmas list every goddamn year. it must have been the scariest and most alarming thing someone could tell you like that. And it wasn't just like a 1 or 2 time fluke thing where I mentioned that by accident. No, I told her that shit like all the time. If we texted, it'd be like a lullaby for me. You know, I'm going to bed now. Do you want to kiss my virginity to sleep with your pussy lips? No? Alright, just keep in mind I'm a virgin when you go to sleep tonight. Have dreams about my virginity. It's something I mentioned frequently because I really thought, in my fucking delusion, that being a virgin and being unique like that was cool and not weird. You know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe nowadays things have changed and being a virgin's the coolest goddamn thing in the world next to pissing in your pants. But back then it certainly wasn't, and definitely not my approach of mentioning it all the fucking time. I think you could be the coolest man in the world, but if you keep mentioning the same shit over and over again, it's gonna make you look like a fucking weirdo. Actually, let me hit you with a fun trivia fact for when you play Critical Jeopardy with your family. The girl I'm talking about in this story here is actually the reason I kept the beard. You see, for the Hunger Games role I got, they asked that you grow out your facial hair, which I'd never even considered doing before. I'd always been clean-shaven. I looked like an 8th grader in debate club. But when I grew it out for that role, she said it looked good, so I kept it, and I never looked back. And now if I shaved it, I'm sure I'd look like a bag of assholes collided with another bag of assholes. So yeah, I guess gloating about virginity wasn't all bad. But trust me, it was all bad. If there's any lesson to take away here from my experience for all of you watching, it would be, don't use like a defining characteristic and shove it down people's throats. Don't try and force people into thinking you are special or unique. Just be yourself, and if they view you as special or unique, great. If they don't, who gives a shit? The two that come to mind right away are vegan and atheist, where people constantly mention those two things if they're associated with that. At least that's the big meme on the internet, and I've only seen it in real life a couple of times, so I don't know how prevalent that is. But just going around and saying things like, I'm a vegan, I'm an atheist, I'm a virgin, and constantly bringing those things up and calling attention to it just makes people not want to be around you. It's a pretty toxic social environment when you're just constantly talking about what you think makes you unique and special. That would be kind of the takeaway from this virginity bragging story, I'd say. Yeah, that's about it. See ya. So I'm gonna tell a story. I'll go ahead and oh wow, what the fuck? These zombies are eating me like an ear of corn. I'll go ahead and tell another story where I fucked up with a woman. I have so many of those. I wish I could animate those so I could animate the story to really help give a visual. But anyway, it was my freshman year of college, I think. I'm pretty sure it was. And I went to a club, because that's what a lot of freshmen did. They would go to clubs. And I wasn't a big fan of clubs, but you know, I put on the facade that I loved clubs. I would flail my arms around like a buffoon, maybe get a little hip gyration in there, and generally look like I was having a good time. I mean, if you saw me at the club, you'd be like, wow, this man really likes his clubs. But I didn't, at all. But I still went. And this one time in particular, I decided to wear these, like, light-up glasses that looked like something a pop singer during the 70s would wear in a music video. And I was dancing around in them, and, you know, doing my thing, getting a little footwork action in there, and by that I mean I was doing the hokey pokey on the dance floor. And I saw a girl, she was really pretty, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna buckle down, I'm gonna go up, and I'm gonna talk to her. So I did everything right, I went up to her, and then I didn't say a word. I just went up to her and I fucking stared at her. She didn't see me at first, she had to turn around, and then she looked at me. And then she's just looking back at me, and I wasn't saying a word. She probably thought I was lagging, or just frozen. And, you know, she must have liked something about my approach, because then she started trying to talk to me. And I just didn't answer any of her questions. I didn't say a word to her. She was like, what's your name? Didn't answer her. And then she pointed out my glasses, which were now around my neck because they weighed damn near 40 pounds, and my nose and eye muscles weren't up to that challenge. So I put them on my neck. She pointed them out. She said, hey, I really like that necklace. Without saying a word, I just picked up the glasses off my neck and put them on my eyes. And then I just continued to look right at her. It was like I was trying to predict the future. I was reading a crystal ball. And then she said, oh, they're glasses. Well, that's even cooler. What the fuck just happened here? Oh, awesome. Yeah, that's that shit I do like. Crashed. Awesome. Yeah, that's about the most fun I've had in the last 10 minutes. I'm glad the game at least waited to crash until I was down to the last 5 enemies or however many I had left. But anyway, I'm still gonna finish the story. So I'm just looking at her like a tacky time traveler with these light up blinking glasses. And I was just doing what any sane man would do. I was staring directly into the eyes of a stranger without saying a word. And she was starting to get a little uncomfortable with this, like a little bothered, but she still wanted to try and salvage this really odd interaction with me. So she said, do you like what my shirt says? And naturally, I just didn't look at the shirt. I kept looking at her, just right into her eyes. And then she noticed this and was a little put off by it. But then she lifted her shirt up, like all the way up, like above her head almost. She nearly took it off so that way I could see it because I was taller than her. So that way I could see nothing but the shirt. She put it in front of her face, and then I just stared blankly at the shirt without actually reading it. And after a couple of seconds, she said, "So what do you think of the shirt?" And I just nodded. And then she stormed off because that was the straw that broke the camel's back. And my friend happened to see most of it, and he came over and he said, "Well, what the fuck was that about? You didn't say a thing to that girl." And then I turned around and I just looked at him without saying anything too. And I really don't know why. I don't know why I didn't say anything to her. I don't know why I didn't say anything to him. I don't know what the fuck was going on there. I was completely sober, and my brain was just processing some really complex algorithms or something. I don't know, but it was a really embarrassing time. And then I continued to just dance around like an absolute loser. And then I threw those glasses right in the garbage. I should have set them on fire, but I just got rid of them because that was very embarrassing. So yeah, that was that story. The game crashed like over a minute ago, probably like 2 or 3 minutes ago, but I really wanted to finish that story. Alright, well that's the end of this video. Remember to rate the video, comment the video, and subscribe if you want to see videos similar to this one. See ya. What? Wow. Fantastic start. Absolutely splendid shit. What's up everybody, it's Critical. I wanted to share another story with you guys today. I know I just told one yesterday actually, but that actually happened last week. I made that video last week and I only posted it yesterday. And the night after that happened, we went out again and I had another unfortunate encounter and another one that was just out of my control. It was my friend again, not the same guy, just another one of my friends, someone I thought I could trust, you know, someone that I thought I could give my Yu-Gi-Oh card collection to and expect to have it returned to me back in mint condition. I haven't fucking touched my Yu-Gi-Oh cards in years, but I feel like that's a pretty big display of trust. I'd let them walk around in my animal slippers, which is something I don't let a lot of people do. So, you know, I trusted this person and it backfired yet again. And this is a tale I don't tell easily because I genuinely have been having some fucking PTSD flashbacks to this scenario. Every time I think about it, it's like a frag grenade goes off in my apartment, my vision gets blurry, everything seems like it's covered in smoke, my ears start ringing. You know that feeling where it sounds like Alpha 5 from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers having a thunderous orgasm in your ear? Yeah, every time I think about this, that's what happens to me. So this story starts the same as all of history's most influential and most memorable stories. I was taking a fat shit in my bathroom getting ready to go out with my friends. We were pre-gaming a little bit, not too hard because there's really no point to pre-game super hard to happy hours and other drink specials. So we finish this, I pinch off the grumpy, and I'm ready to rock and roll. We go to this different bar, not the same one from the night before. And this was around the time Hurricane Herbert or Hermione or whatever the fuck the name of that hurricane was hitting. So it was very moist out. There was a lot of moisture in the air. There was a little bit of rain, just some sprinkling, you know, just spitting out there. So people were fucking climbing over each other World War Z style trying to get into the bar. Pretty long line, but it wasn't too bad. And it wasn't raining really hard or anything like that. It was just kind of a nuisance. So when my friends and I got into the bar, we started going turbo immediately. We just went up to the bar and just started fucking slapping drinks hardcore and just getting absolutely obliterated. And while we were doing this, a girl that I kinda knew at the time came up because she saw us. She's like, you know what, I want to get in on that action. They're going hard in the paint. I'm about that life. I'm gonna try and put anus to faces over here too, like these guys are. And this girl is absolutely gorgeous, probably one of the prettiest girls that I know. And it's not like we're super familiar with each other. We never exchanged numbers or hooked up or anything like that. But we had gotten fucked up at bars together in the past, so we knew each other a little bit. And this girl was going, and she was fucking ordering drinks faster than we were. She's like, come on, hold on a second, pussy tits. I'm getting 2 more. And then just taking them both, bam, breaking shit on her fucking face. She wasn't doing that, but that would have been pretty cool too. But yeah, it was just fun. And after doing this for like an hour or 2 hours, however long it was, one of my friends, he was flopping around like a noodle. He was too drunk, so he went home because he lived pretty close. And then it was just me and my other friend, actually the same friend from my ceramic story, G. So it was me and G and this girl, and we were ready to leave. We were going to go back to my place, which is also walking distance from this bar, and we were just going to hang out for a bit. And since Hurricane Hermione was hitting in full force, shit, the rain was fucking coming in sideways. It felt like hail. It felt like we were just getting bullets shot at us, and it was kind of cool. And on this adventure back to my apartment, this 0.2 mile walk, the girl and I had made out, and things seemed to be going pretty well, you know? She seemed like she wanted to come back and stay over. And G was going to sleep on my couch bed hybrid thing, because my couch pulls out into a bed, some Star Trek style shit. I know, real advanced technology. And because that's what he usually does when he gets too drunk, because his place is too far away to walk to. And he's done this many times in the past. So we get back to my place, and her and I are just waiting for G to go to sleep. We were just waiting for him to be like, all right, y'all, I'm tired. I'm peacing out. I'm gonna have some sweet dreams real quick. Night, night. And he wasn't doing it. He wasn't feeling it. This guy, he was in it for the long haul. He wanted to stay up till the sun was coming up. And eventually her and I were like, all right, we're getting tired. We're going to call it a night. And G was like, all right, Charlie, take me home. And I was shell-shocked. I was like, excuse me, that has to be a joke. So I laughed in his face. I was like, oh, you really yanked my chain good there, partner. No, I'm not doing that. I'm definitely not taking you home. And he was adamant about this. He was not budging. This man had slept on my couch at least 10 times in the fucking past, even when I didn't even want him to or know he was sleeping on my couch. We would just be playing a fucking game and he'd be like, all right, Charlie, I'm going to sleep, and just crash on my couch all night. And then tonight, the one time I fucking needed him to crash on my couch, he was just not having it. He was driving a fucking hard bargain. And we just went back and forth. I was like, gee, no, I don't want to do that. I'm not going to do that. I'd already sobered up because we'd been at my place for a while and I wasn't drunk anymore, so I could take him home if I wanted to, but I didn't want to. And the girl was just watching back, both of us going back and forth. It was like an Indian soap opera where it keeps zooming in on the girl as she's looking at the two people talking, you know what I mean, real dramatic like. And I could see beads of sweat just dripping down her face. No, please, don't budge. Don't drive him home. She was very concerned that I wasn't going to plant my feet and was going to give in to this. And this was just a real-life example of that conundrum. What happens when an unstoppable force of sexually driven hormones meets an immovable object of reluctance to sleep on a couch? And unfortunately, I just gave in because he just kept going. He's like, you know what, fuck it, alright, I'll just walk home, it's not a big deal. But he'd be walking 3 miles through a really shitty part of town. It's akin to walking through a fucking minefield. And I just kept giving him every chance in the book. I was like, gee, come on, you've slept on that couch so many times, wouldn't it just be far more convenient if you did that? He's like, no, Charlie, no, I will not sleep on that fucking couch. That couch has poopy on it right now. I don't want to lay in poopy. Just on and on. And then I just kept saying, gee, look, please, I don't want to do this. I was fucking begging him, don't make me do this. And then eventually I just gave in. Yeah, I was like, fuck it, G, you win. I'll drive you home. And then I could see the girl was very disappointed and upset, and so was I. I had fucking tears in my eyes, and I was begging her, please, it'll only take me 20-25 minutes to do this. Just wait in my bed. Just, nap for a little bit, please. Sorewa, machurizo, just wait. Just, everything. I was just trying it all. It was like a scene in all of those romantic movies, like the really sad scene where they're chasing each other through a garden. The dude or the girl is shouting the other person's name, and they just can't hear it. They just keep walking. She had already made her decision. She wasn't going to wait. She was going to just go back to her place. Since we live in the same apartment complex, she just walked right back to her apartment and went to bed. And then the entire ride, I was bringing G home. I was so fucking tight about it. I was just telling him, G, you know what you've done, right? Do you realize the implications? Do you realize what you have fucking done to me, G? And he in his defense, I don't think he knew what was going on, even though I pretty much blatantly told him to his face, like, please, this is what's going on. But he was pretty fucked up, so I'll give him that. And yeah, ever since then, I've just been tossing and turning in my sleep. Sometimes I'll have nightmares where I will be in the same situation again, except my entire apartment will go up in flames, and that's preferable to what actually happened. I would have rather my apartment just get fucking taken out by Hurricane Hermione at that point in time than have to have this memory, this very sour memory. But yeah, that's the back-to-back nights of unfortunate circumstances I had no control over. The double whammy, the double fisting, the double penetration, the double dare, the double disappointment. Yeah, and that's about it. So yeah.